Hey Clashers, sneak peek number 2 for the Town Hall 16 December update. And so far we're still missing a key defense for Town Hall 16. That's going to change today because we have merged defenses, merged powerful defenses on Town Hall 16. For that, we have to take a look at the arch towers and at the cannons. Because how this works is, as soon as you have maxed arch towers for town level 15, you can merge them together on Town Hall 16. For that, you need 2 archer towers or 2 cannons to turn them into a multi-archer tower or a ricochet cannon. For that, they're getting way stronger, way beefier, and with kinda special abilities. But be careful, because as soon as you're merging together defenses, you can't undo that anymore. With that being said, let's merge together our first 2 defenses, which is going to be the multi-archer tower. Those defenses have overall 2 levels. The first basic level as soon as you're merging them together, and then you can upgrade them once to make them even stronger. Take a look at those stats. 5,200 hit points and quite a couple of damage points right there. The signature thing about this defense is that you have 3 archers on top of that, which are always going to shoot. If there's 1 target, they're shooting that 1 target. If there's 2 targets, they will split up and have 1 archer on 1 target, 2 archer on another target, so they're splitting up depending on how many targets there are. You can clearly see that right there with having a queen approaching one of those archer towers. The important thing is as well, lightning spells. You need overall 6 lightning spells if you have them maxed out and 1 earthquake to make them work. But now let's do the 1 versus 1 comparison. Let's start with 1 troop. The cool thing, as I said, is if there's only 1 target, all of the 3 archers on top of the multi-archer tower will shoot the same target. If it's multiple targets, they will split up and make sure that they have the damage spread out. You can see overall the DPS, the clear winner is going to be the multi-archer tower. As I said, overall they need to be stronger as well to make it really worth it to merge them together. And with that, we can see, well, the 2 regular archer towers were not able to get those 2 P.E.K.K.A down. At the same time, the multi-archer tower was able to clutch it. But let's do another test. So let's do now 2 P.E.K.K.A, okay? With this example, you can see one of the P.E.K.K.A at the bottom side is losing health quicker. Because, as I said, 2 archers are taking 1 target and the other archer is taking another target. At the top side, both archer towers are locked onto the same target, which can be sometimes better, sometimes worse. But overall, you can see both of those archer tower setups, the 2 regular archer towers or the multi-archer tower, they can't handle the 2 P.E.K.K.A, but still the multi-archer tower was able to deal more damage. With having now 3 targets, like 3 giants, the archers are just going to split up, while the archer towers are going to burst down every single giant, which is sometimes better, sometimes worse. So this is like really kinda the question of what you prefer, but overall I think it's for sure worth it to merge up the defenses and get the multi-archer tower. With that being said, I think we want to go back to the shop. And in the shop, you can buy as well offers from the in-game shop. For example, the Gold Pass. For example, skins, offers in general to get resources and prepare yourself for Town Hall 16. If you buy anything of that, make sure to support your favorite content creator out there with the creator code. If you want to support me, it's code iTzu. Let's merge together the second of the multi-archer towers, because overall you can get 2 multi-archer towers and you can get 2 merged cannons as well. For that, let's get ready. Let's get ready for the cannons, because trust me, they are going to be a big threat. Let's merge them together and create our first ricochet cannon. And that thing is, I mean, just take a look at overall the stats. It is crazy. Let's get on to level 1. The same thing as with the multi-archer tower. You have 1 level, obviously, as soon as you're putting it together, and then you can upgrade it once overall. What it does, it has 1 shot which bounces to the next target. So overall, it's 2 targets which are getting hit. If there's only 1 target though, it means damage is missing. So single target damage is really good still, but it really shines as soon as there's 2 or more targets. And one thing which this does with having so much splash now, the unicorn and the queen, which so far was always the perfect combination, might be not that perfect anymore. So it's like a meta shake, which I like a lot, to be honest. But let's move on to the comparison, okay? Let's start things off with 1 target. With having only 1 target, as I said, the ricochet cannon is not at its best. This is not where this defense shines. But still, if you compare it to the 2 regular cannons, it's still winning. especially on queen charges, you can tell, especially if this defense is raged up. Yes, rage towers got nerfed, but 60% bonus damage to a ricochet cannon is still a lot. But now where it really shines is when we have 2 targets, okay? Putting in 2 P.E.K.K.A on both sides, and take a look at that. This bottom side is just getting wrecked. It's getting obliterated with the top P.E.K.K.A. They're staying alive longer, even longer, and they're just never going down. While the bottom side, it's just disappeared. It's just crazy. The ricochet cannon is doing full damage on both, like the first initial hit and the bounce as well. Which means, as soon as you're attacking with the ground, make sure that you're getting this defense out because it hits hard. Overall, this is going to be the new key defenses for Town Hall 16. Being able to merge defense together, I think, is kind of cool. And as well, it solves the problem of making sure that the overall building amount is not crossing the 100 building mark, because that would be not that optimal. Overall, for the cannon, you need 7 lightnings and 1 earthquake if you want to take them down. Reminder, with the multi-arch tower, you need 6 lightnings and 1 earthquake to take that out. But now, let's take a look at one full attack with, in my opinion, kind of the kings of Town Hall 16, which are Electro Dragons. They are just so strong that even I can 3-star with them. So, with that being said, what we do is pretty much the classic approach. A line of Electro Dragons, a line of loons, blimp, warden ability, rages, everything in the beginning. But right now the problem is, where a lot of people are struggling with, is the spells as soon as you were able to cross the first wall. Because at this point it's all about spell timing and spell placement. So for example, on the left side you can see the Royal Champ is approaching my E-Dragons. You need to perfectly freeze it together with the Royal Champ and the Scatter Shot together to make sure that the timing is as optimal as possible and your E-Dragons are not taking any damage. Then rage things up and the E-Dragons will keep going. With the Queen, well, I think in this combination you can still use the Unicorn on the Queen, but in Queen charges especially, the Unicorn on the Queen might get replaced, which I think is overall a really cool change, because so far the pets were kind of like, okay, let's put them there and it's always going to be the same combination. This is now going to change with having way more splash damage. The multi-arch tower and the ricochet cannon are going to take down the Unicorn behind that Queen, even though if the Queen is tanking. So that's kind of good. Overall, the attack is still quite close because, as I said, I might be not the best Electro Dragon attacker, but even for me, I was able to get the 3-star with that Royal Champ ability in the end. With that being said, the Queen is going to clean up. The Royal Champ ability is finishing with the Phoenix together. That last multi-Fern Tower, and at this point, it's going to be a 3-star. But now, I think I want to introduce you to kind of like my favorite strategy on Channel 16 so far, which is, well, it's Dragon Riders, obviously. I mean, Dragon Riders are just so cool, and they were just so not usable on Town Hall 15, unfortunately. Well, they're back in my opinion, especially with the Queen charge and especially with recall spells, because you can nicely pick off outside defenses, because with your Queen, you never really want to have this deep dive into the core of the base, because there is still a lot of damage, even without rage towers. It's still a big threat, and especially with the ricochet cannons dealing a ton of damage. Because of that, I'm using now the Phoenix on my Queen. If that's optimal, that's still open. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. But there's 2 things why I kind of like this. 2 things. Which first is, the Phoenix egg can't go down to splash. That's the first nice thing. The second thing is that with the recall spell, you can place all 5 healers. So for me, I can now place the 5th healer, because the egg does not count into the housing space for the recall spell, which is massive, because now I can do charges with 5 healers and then not always have to delay 1 healer or things like that, which is quite nice. Otherwise, the Dragon Riders are easy to use, which I think is quite nice compared to maybe Lalo, where Lalo is obviously still strong, especially with the Loon level, but overall Dragon Riders are just easier to use for most people, which I think is quite important as well, because yes, Town Hall 16, if you have not watched the video yesterday, is going to feel more like Town Hall 14 balance-wise, but still, Queen charges are not a given, especially if you're not like one of the best Queen charge attackers in the world. So considering that, having like a nicer follow-up or an easier follow-up is always a nice thing for you to be able to concentrate and keep concentrating on your Queen charge. At this point, I just put the Dragon Riders in, blimp the Town Hall, because we can even get with the Yetis from the Clan Castle the Monolith out, which is quite nice as well. And at this point, they just go through. The Royal Champ is sadly out of range of that Warden ability, which is not that optimal, but hey, we still power through. We have the king now for the backhand to take to another air defense, and this is where I like it. Like, the air defense have gotten a new level, and trust me, they are going to wreck your Dragon Riders. So you have to have answers for all of them, and in anti-3-star bases or something like that, it's always easy to access them. But with a recall spell, even if the air defense is a bit deeper into the base, you can take 1 or 2 out and then recall your queen and then take more air defenses out, which is always nice to have when going with Dragon Riders. And otherwise, well, the defending Royal Gem or defending heroes in general are always a big thing to take care of. And otherwise, keep your queen alive and you're looking really good with your attack. So that's 2 attacks which we have taken a look at today with Electro Dragons. I think they're just going to be so strong, especially for those people who can actually play with them. And then Queen Charger in general really strong, especially with my favorite combination of the Dragon Rider. Let me know what you would play, and especially let me know how you would use those merged defenses and how much impact do you think they're going to have. Well, you have still already noticed over the last couple of weeks that you have a little fox in your forest, because sneak peeks are not done yet, and I think tomorrow we should take a look at that a bit more. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I wish you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.